Today we're going to do the xylophone experiment. And the materials that I have for this are 5 xylophone tubes, 1 piece of foam, and a mallet. And I'm doing this demonstration because this is not something I can easily send home with everyone who's home, and it's not something you probably have lying around your house. So first it says, always place the xylophone tubes on the piece of foam so that they do not touch each other. And I've done that. Choose 2 xylophone tubes. Hit each tube with the mallet. Ask your group to listen with eyes closed and with eyes open. Vote on which tube has the highest pitch. So I'm going to just start with the first 2 that are nearest me, and I want you to listen carefully. I will strike both, and I want you to think has the highest pitch, number 1 or number 2. Oops, I'm going to hit that again. And the second one. Whoops, I hit the other one. I got to move these further away. So here's the first one. Second. Okay, so you can see that they have 2 different pitches. And if we think about which one was the highest, I'm sure you identified number 1 as being the highest. So it asks you, take turns. Each player chooses 2 tubes. Everyone listens. Vote on which one has the highest pitch. Okay, so this one was higher. We're going to put this one to the end. Now we're going to compare the next one with this one. So we're going to see which is higher, number 1 or number 2. Number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2. Number 1 was still the highest. So let's put that one back to the end of our row. All right, let's check the next one. Number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2. Number 1 is still the winner. And our last one. Number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2. Number 1 is still the winner. Okay, so we went through each of those. Each time, I guess we found the highest pitch in this one. So next it's asking you arrange the tubes from the highest to the lowest pitch. So I'm going to arrange them. The next step is going to ask you in your paper, draw the tubes to show how you arranged them. So I'm going to help you with this investigation here. We're going to try to find the highest to eventually the lowest. And then when I'm done, you're going to need to recreate this in a drawing. So let's check this first one. We know that this one is lower. So let's check and see where this one would fit in, the next one. So we're comparing between these 2. We know this one was the highest because we tested it against all of them. This one's higher. So far my order would be something like this. Okay, let's check a next one and see where it fits in. We'll check between these 2 first. This one is higher. Now let's check this one against this one. That's really close. This one's a little bit higher. So we'll switch spots. And now we'll check. All right, now let's check where this one fits in. First, we'll test it against our lowest. It kind of sounds like Jaws. Your parents would know that movie. Which one's higher? this one's higher. So let's test it against the next one. I think we found it. I think we found where it goes because this one's higher than this one. So there we go. We have arranged them from the highest to the lowest. Now, what do you notice about the rods? You are going to describe on your paper what you observed about the pitch of the tubes. Compare the long tube to a short tube. So in your writing below, you're going to describe this relationship between here's the short tube, here's the longest. And what do you notice about those two? What inference could you make about the length of the tube and the frequency of the pitch? Which tube has the highest and which tube has the lowest? That's what you're going to think about when you're responding, and that's what you're going to write about in your packet of Physics of Sound on page number 7 when you are doing your response below. So your job right now is draw a picture in the box showing the highest pitch to the lowest pitch. And you're kind of recreating a drawing of what I have here or something similar. And then also I should make sure, let me line these up for you so you can really see their length differences, because those did have an effect, didn't they? Whoops, I just mixed two of them up. There we go. So that is how they line up together when the bottoms are all at the same spot. That's how they line up together. You'll notice these are of equal length and these are of equal length, but they didn't sound the same. So, and they look like they have a similar width of the tube. So there must be something about the tube that's a little different. When I look at them, these have more of a dull finish. These have a shinier. They're exactly the same composition of metal. So that might play something into it as well. So draw your picture and then answer your questions. Describe what you observed about the pitch, comparing the lowest or the longest tube and the shortest tube. And then the going further challenge was to identify a tune that you play on the xylophone. So I'm not sure if I'd be able to pick a song. These are interesting notes. I'd have to really think about it if I wanted to do my own tune. I'm also going to link a video in here that shows you how you may not have these metal rods at home, but there are ways that you can make a xylophone at home with really easy materials. And it won't necessarily sound exactly the same, but you will be able to create a similar effect using different sizes and lengths of tubes. So I will link that in for you if you would like an extra challenge. So that is it for our xylophone investigation. Thank you for watching.